صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوصين وابن فاطمة الزهراء سيدتنا وسيدة نساء العالمين. غريب يا مظلوم كربلاء. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First and foremost, I apologize for the delay because of a technical issue. But anyways, here we are. Tonight, we will talk about women's rights in Islam. Islam, to us, it's not only a religion, it's a way of life. It's a motto that you carry in whatever you are doing. So, Islam has a distinct view and distinct legislation in every single thing in your life. Islam came to be new, revolutionary. This is why you would see that in Islam, there are some certain things, some certain characteristics that were unprecedented before. For instance, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This word, the Islamic greeting, was something unprecedented before. Arabs used to greet each other using different phrases, but Assalamu alaikum wasn't one of them. It essentially means, my brother, I greet you with peace. May the peace of God be upon you. So, you're giving the person in front of you peace, not from your side, from God's side. What you're saying, even in more detail, is that I am a slave of Allah, a slave of God, and I abide by God's revelations, and I will not harm you in any way, shape, or form. I will not betray you. I will not do anything that is negative towards you. That in itself is a strong message. That in itself deserves a study, deserves us to see what Islam did to the society. So, even in the minute details, Islam had intricate legislation in order to lead the life of every single Muslim towards heaven and towards benefiting people on earth. The Prophet, peace be upon him, has said, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ أَنْفَعُهُمْ لِلنَّاسِ. The best of the people are the people that benefit others. So as much as you benefit others, as much as you gain bounties in the eyes of God. There is also a narration by the Prophet or one of his progeny, peace be upon them all, that says, إِنَّ الْعَابِدَ مِنْ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلِ إِذَا اسْتَكْمَلَ الْعِبَادَةِ تَوَجَّهَ لِخِدْمَةِ النَّاسِ. That the Israelites, which are the sons of Jacob, peace be upon him, they were called Israelites because he was called Israel. So they, when they reach the epitome of piousness and piety and religiousness, then they turn from their ordinary worship to aiding others in whatever they need. So benefiting others will get you more bounty than any sort of worship. This makes sense. Why? Because of the narration that was mentioned on this minbar on the first night, which said by the Prophet, peace be upon him, regarding the life of Muslims and how we could formulate our lives towards God subhanahu wa ta'ala to gain the bounty. إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتِمَّ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I was only sent to complete your ethics, to make you people of high ethics. So the worship itself, it is not a goal, it is only a vessel, a pathway in which you cross to benefit others, to be of high ethics. There is something else also. There is a nice narration concerning Al-Imam al-Hussein, peace be upon him, and Al-Imam al-Hassan, peace be upon him. Al-Imam al-Hassan was doing i'tikaf in the Masjid al-Nabawi. I'tikaf is basically fasting for at least 3 days and staying inside the borders of a mosque. You're not to leave the mosque except for something of severe importance. So you stay, you worship, read Quran, pray, ponder upon existence, whatever you do, that is considered worship, that is valid. So he was doing that. A man came to Imam al-Hassan, peace be upon him, and said, "Oh, Imam al-Hassan, I need you to aid me in an errand." Whatever that errand was, it needed 2 people. So he came to Imam al-Hassan because they knew that Imam al-Hassan never says no to anybody. And he helps everybody. He's humble, very humble. So when he went to Imam al-Hassan, Imam al-Hassan apologized and said, "I am sorry, I'm performing worship. I'm performing i'tikaf in the mosque of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And I cannot come out. Because there is a certain border, time border. If you cross it, then you're not allowed to go outside. If you cross the 2nd day, then you cannot exit until you finish the 3rd day at least, or whatever is more than that." Anyways, so Imam al-Hassan could not come out. So this guy went to Imam al-Hussein, peace be upon him, and said, "Oh Hussein, I need you to go out with me in an errand." So Imam al-Hussein, peace be upon him, said, "Okay, I will go." This guy also said that I went to Imam al-Hassan and he told me that I am performing i'tikaf. I am staying in the mosque. Imam al-Hussein said something very interesting. He said, "My help to you and aid is many tenfold times better than the i'tikaf that Imam Hassan, peace be upon him, is performing." Why is this very important? Because first we need to know that Imam al-Hassan is a higher ranking Imam than Imam al-Hussein, peace be upon him. How do we know that? Because Imam al-Hassan came before. If Imam al-Hussein was better, he would be before. Age does not matter. Age does not matter at all in al-imama, in the leadership, the Islamic leadership. Because many of our imams had brothers and siblings that were elder than them. And some of them were really pure, but still not pure enough to be an imam. So age does not matter. Imam Hassan is, older than Imam Hussein. But he was not imam because he was only older. No, he was imam because he was better in the eyes of God. He was higher ranking. So, Al-Imam al-Hassan and his i'tikaf should be something really, really great because he is higher in his rank than Imam Hussein. But still, Al-Imam Hussein's aid to that person was greater than the i'tikaf and worship of Al-Imam al-Hassan. Why? Because aiding others in itself is greater than anything else that you could do on this world. So we return back to our main subject, which is the rights of women in Islam. Islam came with a full system of belief, a full system of legislation, of action, of responsibility, of jurisdiction. So it had everything covered. With that, the legislation that is geared towards women. Many may say that Islam is a masculine religion. It's a religion that does not respect femininity. That Islam is against feminism in itself. What is the answer to that? We need to answer that question with another question. When someone says, does Islam, agree with feminism or doesn't it? First, we need to ask, what do you mean by feminism? Even if you go to feminists and ask them, 10 people, ask those 10 people separately, what is feminism? Each single person will have a different view, a different definition, and this makes it difficult for us to say whether Islam is compatible with what they're saying or not. So, let's take the general direction of feminism and see what Islam says about that. If feminism means fighting for the rights of women, if feminism means empowering women, if feminism means giving women their identity, their space, their creativeness, and their whole role in life, then Islam is the biggest feminist there is. If that is what feminism means. But if feminism means the equality, the total equality between men and women, then Islam is not a feminist. Equality, even though it is a shiny word, but it could be injustice. How? Take this example. I think you all saw this picture in WhatsApp and Instagram, every single one of those platforms. It has a picture of three guys. A very tall one, a mediocre one, and a very short one. And there is a wall. Let's say it's 1.6 meters. And they're trying to watch a game that is happening behind that wall. There are 3 bricks. So equality means giving 1 brick to each, isn't it? But that is unjust. Why? The tall guy could already see the game. He does not need a brick at all. The mediocre guy needs only 1 brick to see. But he can see just the borderline of the horizon. And the short guy, he needs 2. So if you give him only 1, he would not be able to see. So if you treat each one fairly, you would give the tall guy none, the mediocre 1, and the short one 2. You distribute the resources as per the need. That is justice, but it isn't equality. Justice and equality are 2 separate entities. We need to focus on that. When they're saying we need to equate between men and women, if they mean total equality, then that is the biggest injustice that fell over women in this century. Why? This means that we should make women work the same jobs that men do, even bricklaying. Imagine having a lady in her 40s, after she had many children, going outside and working in bricks. There are some ladies like that in poor countries. There are. And may God help them and help us all. But still, that is not the role intended for women. Their physical appearance, their physical capability is so different. Nobody could say in a sane mind that a man is equal to a woman in everything. That he has the same capabilities, the same powers, that they share the same, characteristic in existence. That is not correct. Islam, what it did, is it looked to the specific characteristics of each gender and gave them what fits best. So, feminism, if it is the equality, the total equality between men and women, then صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. مولانا ليس موجود. الله يسلمك. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد. عذرونا على الجسارة مولانا. الله يحفظكم. الله يسلمكم إن شاء الله. So let's swiftly take some examples in which Islam has applied justice but not equality between men and women. Do you know that if someone commits murder, there is something called diya, which is blood money. Blood money is something that is, shared between all civilizations. All civilizations have some sort of blood money. In Islam, there is some jurisdiction per that. So, do you know that the blood money for a lady is half that of a man? So, exactly half. If you kill, God forbid, a man, unjustly kill a man, then you'd have to pay twice than the amount that you would have to pay if you kill a woman. People say, wow, that is so unjust. How could Islam say that? The answer is very simple. We as Shiites, we are not afraid of questions. We are very sincere. Our books are everywhere. And our lectures are everywhere. All that anybody needs to do is ask. we are not afraid of questions. We're not afraid of someone confronting us with anything. If we believe in something, we will fight for it. And we will fight justly. If you tell us something that is more logical, we will go to that. Why? What does the Quran say? The Quran talks about people who are guided. And the verse is very splendid, something that is actually out of this world, especially in the days of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. At the end of this verse it says أولئك هم المهتدون. So basically in English, the people who Allah has guided are the people that hear to the different opinions and follow the best. Islam does not say that you have to blindly follow anybody else. No. Islam says that you have to follow the righteous path, and this is the path that we would follow. Anyways, return to the question. How can we say that giving the ladies half the blood money of men is just? It is a simple issue of insurance. We all have insurance, some sort of insurance here or there, or at least one of our relatives does. When we talk about car insurance, for example, if you are younger than 30 years old or older than 55 years old, then the insurance rate skyrockets. But if you are from 30 to 55 or 54 exactly, then the insurance is low. Why? Is it because people that are younger or older than that group have no importance for life? Or have no importance for their injuries? No, it is because they are more likely to get injured. Men go to wars, men work outside, men have feuds, men are hot-headed. Women are not generally characteristically like that. I know that people are not equal. You know, there are some women that may have more power than men and vice versa. We know that. But still, when making rules, we have to look at the general spectrum. So, when we say that the blood money for women is half, it's because they are more than half likely to be killed. We need to actually protect the men. Women are not in such danger of killing and murder as men are due to the nature of their life. That is one example. Another example, and today, we would have to cut this lecture short, but hopefully we will be able to compensate tomorrow and start off more early or something of the sort. The last example I wanted to talk about, among many that hopefully we will get through tomorrow, is why did Islam cover up the woman? This is an issue that may stop 30% of the women that like Islam from joining Islam. Oh, if I join Islam, then I'll have to cover up. First, I'll have to say just something very fast. Sister, if you want to come to Islam, don't let the hijab stop you. If you're not ready to wear the hijab, become a Muslim, and then afterwards, see. If you would like to wear the hijab, wear it. If you don't want to wear the hijab, then don't. You're the one that is going to be judged in your grave, not me, not anybody else. It is your life and God knows best. So, don't let anything trivial, hijab is not trivial. I'm not saying hijab is trivial. I'm saying that when you're taking a great decision such as going into Islam, everything else is trivial. Nothing has a value. Because Islam means, in our eyes, the key way to heaven. So do you want to prevent yourself from heaven just with a piece of cloth that you're not ready to wear? I am wearing a piece of cloth. It's called a turban. And it's not bothering me at all. Why should a smaller piece bother you? Okay, don't wear it if you don't want to. But at least follow the righteous path. Anyway, I'll answer the question now. Why does Islam cover ladies? Why not men? Why not both? That is a question. Some say, oh, so we would protect women from men's libido. So basically what you're saying is that you want to stop men from committing sin by covering women. He's the aggressor. Why don't you attack him? Why don't you give legislation towards him? The answer is not that. The answer is very different. What is the answer? See, the most important right of women in this day and age is having an opinion. Because having an opinion means that we respect your intellect. Respecting your intellect is respecting your humanity. Treating you without intellect is treating you as if you are not human. You want a human right? This is the biggest human right, the right to opinion. Okay? So, Islam wanted women to have the right of opinion by giving them hijab. How does that make sense? It doesn't. No, it does. Let's go through this thinking cycle, and at the end you will see. When women go outside, wearing something that is revealing or not modest, what do you think the people around her are thinking? Are they thinking, the people, the men, whatever, are they thinking of her as a human being or a piece of flesh that is walking around? Do they gaze on her eyes or lower? That is something that we need to ask. If a woman covers up decently, then there is a barrier protecting her from such look. Because if you are, and men really do focus on these things, if men are fixated sexually towards a lady, then that is all they think. They will not process anything that comes out of her mouth. They will not treat her in the way that she deserves as a human. So, making a distance between sexuality and intellect gives women a chance to voice their opinions freely in a way that they are not treated, as if they are just, there for show. Whatever comes out of their mouths, we will not hear. If you see a woman that is fully wearing, something that is very decent, you would have a direct respect to her. Some people may say, no, that is not the case. No, it is the case. This is why in every religion, you would see that the scholars wear more articles of clothes. Just count how many, articles of clothes Jews, rabbis wear, or, for example, the fathers of Christians. Basically, they're wearing many articles of clothes. The nuns. So there is a correlation, but we close our eyes because we want to see something other than what Islam says. So basically, hijab is not only to protect women from the gaze of men. No, it is to give them a voice that is not shrouded by sexuality. In some statistics, 95% of all differentiation and discrimination between ladies in any firm or any job or any work is because of sexuality. She is prettier, we'll give her the promotion. She is prettier, we will listen to her talking and whatever. Even women, they are so delicate, and it is something that is nice about them. It causes them to be more compassionate towards kids. And I'll continue this hopefully tomorrow. I'll just finish up my sentence and then we'll move on to the other Arabic lecture. But when when women, for example, they have something in their physical features that is not as they wish. For example, she has curly hair and she would like straight hair. She would feel conscious all the time because of her hair. If she covers it, then she has nothing to fear. I know that this may not be the best logical answer, but the best logical answer was mentioned before, is that if you want women to be treated wherever they are fairly, they need to be dressed modestly, so that people would not discriminate when acting towards them. This is the best logical explanation of hijab. And at the end, it is just a test. God wanted to test women with the veil and wanted to test men with something else. And there are some rulings about covering, the men awra, or, the parts of the body that should not be exposed to people who are not with you in wedlock. Anyways, today's lecture will be cut short and we will continue tomorrow. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.